This episode is brought to you by AwesomeDrinks.com, where the best drinks begin. Welcome to the Sunday Night Shooters edition of Common Man Cocktails. I'm your host, Derek Schomer, and today we're looking to do an Alaskan duck fart. Yeah, that's right. That's the name of the drink. This was something that I've had, I can't remember who it was, I'm sorry, whoever it was that sent me this recipe. They sent it to me right around the same time, if not at the same time, I was watching Deadliest Catch on Discovery Channel. I love that show. I like to watch fishermen do like really hard work while I sit down and watch and eat some chips. This was a drink that the captains usually do right before they go out on a voyage, and I think this is what they marks their bet that they make, where they decide who's going to catch the most fish, and they, whoever catches the most crab gets the bank, and they seal the deal over a duck fart. And they're in Alaska. It's Alaskan duck fart. We're going to use some Kahlua. We're going to use some Baileys. Second time on the show, we're going to use a whiskey. This is a Brave Spirits whiskey. For it's about $2. It donates $2 to the men and women in the armed forces, police, firefighters. Whenever you buy Brave Spirits products, they're right now. I know they're available in Pennsylvania, and they're going around that area. So if you're in there, if you haven't seen something like this, the Brave Spirits brand, they have gins and vodkas. Check that out. But this would be one of the only times we're using whiskey, mainly because I'm not a huge fan of whiskey. But this is for you, not me. So what we're going to do is, this is a Pousse Cafe style recipe, which it means we're going to be layering the shots. We're going to do the Baileys, then we're going to layer, no, that's not Baileys, that's Kahlua. We're going to put the Kahlua in, then we're going to layer the Baileys on top. Typically the Baileys tends to be the topper. In this case it's going to be whiskey, so that's kind of neat. So let's layer some Baileys on here, see if we could do it without making too much of a cloudiness. Because it's such a fine line on this, from the dark browns to the whites, that when you screw it up, you'll start to see a little cloudiness. But I never said I was perfect. I'd like to be. So that's the second one. Oh, that's pretty good. I'm proud of myself. And then we'll put the whiskey on top. Now, realistically, I don't know if it really matters what type of whiskey. Bourbons, Scottish whiskey, Scotch. This is I think it's made in Pennsylvania. It's not a bourbon, the Brave Spirits at least. You could use maybe Crown Royal. There we go. Oh. Didn't think about that. Licking whiskey is rough. So you've got the 3 layers, nice and distinct. I'm pretty proud. Did a pretty good job, I think. The whiskey's there's a little cloudiness. It kind of picks up some of the Baileys, but the Baileys and the Kahlua, there's a great fine line between those. So that would be, when you order an Alaskan duck fart, it's going to look like this. So let's give this a try. That's pretty strong whiskey. All right, here we go. Gone. So there's a lot of Bailey's flavors in here. Actually, the Kahlua too, you're getting that coffee-esque flavor. If you can imagine maybe a Starbucks coffee with a shot of whiskey in it, which might not be that bad if you're a huge fan of whiskey. This is all set. Now, if you're not a huge fan of whiskey, and I am not, Scotch is cool. This is not my strong point, but the drink doesn't really lend itself to a huge whiskey-like aftertaste. Plus, this whiskey's not that bad. So, you get some rough whiskey, but you really get that coffee and that Bailey's layering, which rounds out any of the punch you'd get from a standard whiskey. So, not a bad drink. If somebody offered me one, I would have no problem with this. I don't know if it would be a drink I would select myself, but being I'm not huge into whiskey, I think that kind of explains it. So that was an Alaskan duck fart. And this is the sponsor, awesomedrinks.com, where you can get shot glasses like this. Also, go to everydaydrinkers.tv, leave us a comment, and you'll be entered to win 4 of these cool frosted Collins glasses. And I'm your host, Derek Schomer. We're teaching you how to drink.